Hello and welcome to the Irish Aesthete. Recently I was talking about tower houses, those ubiquitous, tall, often square-shaped stone buildings of which thousands of examples can be found all over the country. Tower houses initially appeared in the early 15th century, but around 1600 they began to be superseded as the home of choice for wealthy landowners by another style of building, the fortified or semi-fortified house. The first example of this style, which actually dates from the 1580s, is Rathfarnam Castle, located in what today is a suburb of Dublin, but was once on the edge of the Pale and so prone to attack from Irish clans living just beyond its borders. Built by the remarkable Adam Loftus, who managed to be simultaneously Archbishop of Dublin, Lord Chancellor of Ireland and First Provost of Trinity College Dublin, Rathfarnam Castle has been much altered over the centuries. But it's still possible to work out the building's original form, not least that it's a great square block with spear-shaped flanking towers at each corner. Rathfarnam Castle is definitely a house, but it's a house whose owner was clearly prepared for the possibility of attack. So it's simultaneously an expression of optimism that a more comfortable style of life could be enjoyed, with an awareness that this might not actually be the case. And this was certainly true of another slightly later fortified house found further north in County Danigal. Rafale Palace, like Rathfarnam Castle, was constructed for a clergyman, in this instance John Leslie, who was bishop of the diocese of the same name. Rafale Palace dates from 1636, a period of relative calm in Ireland, although just 5 years later the terrible Confederate Wars began, and they would cause havoc across the country and lead to Leslie becoming known as the Fighting Bishop. Like Rathfarnam, it's square, with each wall being 46 feet long, and it has the same flanking towers, these measuring 12.5 by 12.5 feet. The advantage to the flankers is that they allowed further means to ward off any potential attack. The building remained in use as an episcopal residence long after Leslie had left, and seems to have had another story added to the top, as well as larger windows being opened on each side. There's a very handsome Gibbsian 18th century doorcase on the east front with coats of arms on either side. Ultimately, the castle was irrevocably damaged not by war, but by an accidental fire which gutted the place in 1838. It's been a ruin ever since. Returning briefly to John Leslie, he was a remarkable man who only married at the age of 67, his wife being the teenage daughter of the Dean of Rafale. The couple went on to have 5 children. Leslie himself lived to the age of 100, but long before then he'd been transferred to another more peaceable diocese and had acquired substantial lands in County Monaghan. His descendants still live there in a house today known as Castle Leslie. Thank you so much for watching the Irish Aesthete. In the next episode, I want to look at what was probably the most sophisticated house built in Ireland at the beginning of the 17th century. I look forward to seeing you then. Goodbye.